Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Today's video is on the courage required to concentrate for dementia residents in dementia facilities. Now, this is a very important subject. There's a huge amount of preparation required to get to this point. Just as we've been discussing, the depression, the anxiety, the anger levels need to be brought right down, at least to the lower end of moderate, really, for the person to be able to then concentrate. So there's been a lot of videos on that, to go back through that if you haven't done that. Then, of course, if the person's going through dementia spin or dementia blank, you know, if they're going through those high stress dementia episodes, they'll just have to sit. You'll just have to sit with them, encourage them, or let them lie down on the bed till they go through that. Nothing can be done at that time. So now we're on to the third level, which is the actual memory loss itself, the main symptom of dementia that most people refer to or know about, which is the dementia loss itself. Now, of course, with dementia, the present memory, the recent present memory goes first, mostly. So, you know, the person finds it difficult remembering, oh, what did I have for lunch? Did you visit this morning? You know, what's the time? What's the season, etc. Whereas past memory, going back to their childhood or, you know, summer holidays when they were young, or school days, they can remember. So therefore it's often good to go back to that, because that's where they can discuss things and become alive, alert and active. Okay, now, so assuming then, in terms of the subject being to get the concentration going, assuming as well on top of all this, you know, they're settled, you know, their depression, anxiety or anger has settled down because you've been a supportive relative or friend or grandchild. You've taken them for a walk, or you've done a little activity, or you've had a lovely chat with them, and they're settled down and calm enough to be able to, you know, come to the workshop, and they're not stressed out with their dementia blanks or whatever. You know, you can see through the eyes and expression that they're warm and interested, and they want to come to the workshop, or they want to talk about you with this, to work with you, and they're in a good space, you know, they're cared for well, they've had a shower, they've had their breakfast, they've had a glass of water, their hearing aids are in if need be, they've got their glasses on, they've been to the bathroom. I mean, oh, it's a lot, isn't it? I mean, really, it's a huge amount. If the person's in a facility, of course, all this caring is done for them. But if they're at home, oh, it must take a family effort, surely, to get, you know, to help dear granny or parents with all this. It's so much involved. But it has to be done in order to reach to this point of helping the person concentrate, having the courage to concentrate, because from that point on, the quality of their inner life will improve. We've been through, you know, helping the quality of the outer life improve with all these 100 videos, and with all the caring that the person's having, or the practical positive points to help them with their room set up and comfortable everything. So I won't go into that again. We've done a lot on that. Okay, so now we're on to the concentrating part. Now, how to be able to concentrate. Because, of course, with dementia spin, dementia spin and dementia blank, that's not happening. Okay, so just assuming, yes, I'm sorry, I'll just repeat again, they're settled, you know, their depression, anxiety or anger is settled, they're not going through dementia spin or dementia blank, and they're in a space, they're willing to come, you know, to work with you, and we're now working on, what we're actually working on is diverting their thinking, because we have to divert their thinking, because anything to do with that dementia side is all stress, anxiety, spinning and blank, isn't it? You know, who wants to be in that space? You can't function in it. So you have to somehow divert them away from that to be able to focus on something else. Yeah. So if the emotional states of anger, anxiety, depression are settled, if they're not going through a blank and a spin, if they're settled in themselves and well cared for, then they'll be settled enough to be able to be distracted away from that chaotic thinking and blanked out thinking to focused, concentrated thinking. And that is where the mindfulness lies. That's where the peace and the calmness lies, which is what they so need after all the chaotic dementia stress they've been through. So this is the focus, to get them distracted away from their dementia thinking to the focused, concentrated thinking. So what you need to do for that is to find a topic that will interest them, that will be able to draw them away, take them away from that dementia thinking and dementia stress to concentrated, focused thinking. Yeah, so that takes a wee bit of planning, but there are some topics that do work, that tried, tested and true. So I'll take you through an example of that. Okay. I mean, and it's good to have a variety of topics with this ongoing work, of course, variety being the spice of life, but I'll go through one example here to start things off. How to get the person diverted away from their dementia, stressful thinking to the concentrated, focused thinking. Okay, so one way of doing it actually is the David Attenborough programs on the smart TV. Now, I actually started this after 2 years of other topics of different workshops. I mean, you can't just put on the TV and put the person in front of it and expect them to concentrate and observe. I mean, you've got to do a lot of work up to this point, really, on other various topics of interest and various discussions, etc. But we'll just assume that we've done those workshops, that the person is interested and engaged, and you know, you've done the groundwork up to this point with good quality conversations and, you know, lots of discussions on their holidays and school days and photograph albums out and activities are going on, etc., etc. Okay, so with getting their concentration going with David Attenborough, for example, and the smart TV. So what you do, I mean, actually everything of David Attenborough is engaging. And I find that you can divert the thinking of people with dementia so well with David Attenborough, because he's got that lovely, slow, mellow voice. You know, his energy is nice and calm. The animals they love, you know, and the brightness and the beautiful photography and those lovely, for example, little baby elephant. You see that swinging across the, you know, screen with its little tail and trunk. And you just say to the residents, okay, now everyone, I want you to concentrate. I want you to focus. Now look at this little elephant. Oh yes, so they all look at the little elephant. Oh, it's a lovely elephant. Look at that lovely trunk swinging. Oh, I hope it finds some water. Oh, it's very dry there in Africa, you know, and its little tail, it's so small compared to those other big elephants. Yes, and it's swinging. Oh, I hope it finds water. Oh, it's drought there, you know, and they're thinking and they're concentrating and they're focusing, and they've arrived. They're there. They're with the little elephant. They're there in Africa. There's the drought. David Attenborough, nice mellow voice. They're reading the subtitles, some of them that can, others are listening. I'm emceeing for those that, you know, need a little bit of help when the ads come on to, you know, fill in when needed. And it's just a totally engaged, beautiful, mindful, focused, concentrated experience. They're away from their dementia stress. They're peaceful, they're focused, they're present. Do you know, when they have arrived at that state, when they are focused, when they're concentrated, do you know, they can stay in that state for 1.5 hours to 2 hours at a time. It's incredible. And I'm going to explain in the next video why that is able to be the case. So thank you for your likes and subscriptions, all your support and all those hearts out there. It's fantastic. Thank you.